You know that feeling, that specific panic when you realize your HDMI cable is just, I don't know, 10 feet too short.
Oh, I do.
It's not just an inconvenience, it's a real physics problem. I mean, HDMI signals just die over distance.
They really do. Anything over, say, 25 or 30 feet, and you're just rolling the dice. You might get sparkling pixels or just a black screen. It's the classic AV headache.
Which brings us to the hardware we're breaking down today. It's the NTI ST-C6HD-150-LC-UK.
A bit of an alphabet soup name.
Right, but the promise is pretty clean. Get high-def video and audio across a really long distance without spending a fortune on some thick custom cable.
Exactly. It's technically called an HDMI extender, but I kind of think of it more like a media bridge. It takes that fragile HDMI signal and shoves it over something much cheaper and way more durable.
Standard Ethernet cable.
Standard Ethernet cable.
Which is the part I love here. We're not talking about some proprietary fiber optic line or something. It's the same CATx or TC6 cable that's probably already in the walls of your office.
Right. So the system comes in two parts. You have a local unit, which plugs into your laptop or Blu-ray player.
The source.
The source, yeah. And then a remote unit that sits by the TV or the projector.
Okay, and you connect those two with just one network cable.
A single, solid, straight-through C-axis cable. And just like that, the 30-foot limit for HDMI, it becomes a 150-foot range.
That's 46 meters. That is a massive difference.
It is. You're effectively bypassing the physical limits of the HDMI standard.
Okay, but this is where I always get a little skeptical. Usually when you convert a video signal, send it down a wire for 150 feet and then convert it back, something gets lost. It looks terrible.
You'd expect that, wouldn't you? But the specs on this are surprisingly robust. It supports full 1080p HD TV resolutions.
And it's not stripping the data down. What about things like color depth?
No, it handles 36-bit deep color.
So no color banding in like a blue sky gradient or something?
None. It's HDMI 1.3 compliant. And it even supports 3D video pass-through.
Assuming your source and your TV can handle 3D in the first place, of course.
Of course.
Good to know. What about copyright protection? I've seen extenders that work fine until you try to play a real movie and suddenly you get a DRM error.
A very valid concern. This unit is HDCT 1.1 compliant. So that digital handshake between your Blu-ray player and your TV, it stays intact. It won't block the content.
Okay, so the video survives the trip. What about audio? I don't want to set up a whole home theater system just to get basic stereo sound.
You're safe there, too. It supports lossless compressed digital audio. We're talking Dolby True HD and DTS-HD master audio.
So whatever the source sends,
the remote unit delivers.
I want to dig into how these boxes actually talk to each other, though. You mentioned something in the notes called EDD. Why does that matter so much?
Okay, so this is kind of the secret sauce for making it all plug and play. EDD is basically the little file a monitor sends to a computer that says, "Hi, I'm a 1080p screen. Please send me 1080p video."
And I'm guessing that message can get lost when you stick an extender in the middle?
Precisely. But the local unit on this NTI device has a built-in default EDD table. So it essentially tricks the source, your computer, into thinking it's connected directly to a perfect 1080p display from the get-go.
It stabilizes the connection.
Right, before the signal even leaves the first box.
And what about on the other end? I mean, 50 feet of cable is going to behave differently than 150 feet of cable.
The remote unit handles that with auto-equalization. It actually senses the cable length and adjusts the signal gain automatically to clean everything up. You don't have to get out a tiny screwdriver and fiddle with the dial.
That's a huge usability plus. Now, we have to talk about that model code. LCUK.
Right. So LC is just for low cost. The UK part refers to the power plug. It ships with a British BS1363 plug.
So if I'm here in the US, am I out of luck?
Not at all. The power supply itself is universal. It's 110 to 240 volts AC. You just need a standard travel adapter for the plug itself. And the units are tiny, maybe 2 by 3 inches, and they only draw about 5 watts each.
So what's the price tag on a set like this?
You're looking at about $130 for the pair.
Which, when you compare it to trying to find a reliable 150-foot HDMI cable, which basically doesn't exist, that's a really strong value proposition.
It is. Plus, NTI offers a 2-year warranty. It just solves a really complex infrastructure problem with, off-the-shelf parts. You plug in the HDMI, connect the ST-C6, and you're done.
And that's really the takeaway for me. We obsess over these high-end specialized cables for our EV gear. But this little device proves that the Hundle Ethernet cable, the same stuff running the internet, is more than capable of carrying cinema-quality data. You just need the right translator.
It makes you wonder.
It really does. It makes you wonder what else we could be running through those jacks in our walls if we just stop thinking of them as internet only.
It definitely makes that spool of ST-C6 in the closet look a lot more valuable.
That's it for this deep dive. Thanks for listening.